how much more of it is once you get past that. But I think it's the only this one. It's big as and it goes really hard. I had clients in escrow and fall fraud. And like I had to drive this last year because I never seen it. Just to get to the part of the fall fraud. I have close to I don't have anything I have right now. But I am actively working.
Okay, 2:30, let's get going.
Should we turn off
2:30. Welcome, 1:30. Welcome everyone. I hope you guys had a good start of your day. We're gonna get going with our meeting. Disclaimer. Reminder, please disconnect from the Wi-Fi, silence your phones, and pay attention, okay?
Pay attention.
Bucket fills. Who's got a bucket fill today?
I have to fill Alicia's bucket because she said something at orientation and she said, even if I'm not your coach, like I'm willing to help, I'm there for you. And because I work at escrow partners, don't do as many contracts. And I had a question.
Okay.
And I had a question for my client, and Alicia answered it, and we got into contract, and now we're in
yay! Congratulations!
So thank you for helping Alicia.
And I've seen that happen too. I've actually reached out to Alicia. I'm like, BB's not available. Can I send this agent to you? It's like, yeah, sure. Bridget, go ahead.
I have a couple, let's see, I want to shout out Yvette and Rob Paul, I don't know if he's here, and Marwan. Thanks to those three, I just got back from a 2-week road trip and not one of my clients knew I was on vacation.
Nice. Who else? Okay, well, I have one bucket fill, and my bucket fill is for Nikki. Hold on. I just want to give her a shout out because she makes herself available. She's part of the team. She helps us put stuff together for you guys like lunch, decorating, flower arrangement, and all that. So can we give her a round of applause? She was very nervous to get everything going today because it was our first time without Ari, and she did fantastic. So thank you everyone. If there are any issues with this video,
Actually, Stephanie's saying it's muted. I don't know if that's something to do with us.
Yeah, it's muted for now.
Okay.
Calm down, Corrine. Hold on.
I'm just trying to make sure everything's flowing here.
Okay, property pitches. I go have Lisa and I have Kathy. So Lisa, you want to go first?
Sure. Okay. No photos, unfortunately. All of these are coming up. They're not yet on the market. So if there's anything of interest, please feel free to reach out to me. I've got a Mills Act Victorian duplex that is an absolutely gorgeous property, but could use a little TLC. It would be great for an owner occupy, and then have income from the other unit, and significant tax savings. It's got a lot of original charm, nice outdoor spaces, view, balconies, and that one is going to be at 174 in Golden Hill. And I've got another newer duplex, 1986. The other one is 1888. So they're like 100 years old. Yeah. So newer. And that one is tenant occupied. Again, it could be investment, or it could be owner occupied for one, live in one and rent out the other one. The income right now is about $55,000 a year, and the rents could be improved. It could use a little TLC. It's got off-street parking. They all have laundry. That one is on C Street in Golden Hill, and that one is going to be for like 1.2. So 2 duplexes, very different from each other, but lots of different potential for them. And I've got 2 condos, one in North Park, right in the heart of North Park on Utah Street. That's going to be at 665. It's a 2-bedroom with a garage, with its own detached garage, which is really hard to find. Has laundry, everything, and that one will be, that one is gonna be at $665. And then I've got a high-rise, unit 1101 in Little Italy. That one is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. It's south-facing, lots of sky, views, outdoor balcony, great complex. It's in the one that I live in, and I love that. It's La Vida, and that one is going to be at $875. So two condos and 2 duplexes.
Thank you, Miss. Awesome. Kathy?
Oh, thank you. This is a new listing I've got. It's actually 1 bath though, but it's 2-bedroom, 1 bath, 965 square feet. So it's a spacious 2-bedroom, 1 bath with a detached garage and a parking space by the garage. Everything's been done to this. It's $985, but everything, it's so cute on the inside. It's a brand new kitchen and bath and wine bar, new roof, new electrical, AC. Newer roof. Yes.
Try to say new.
Thank you. I usually do, but I just, and it's got a cute little backyard place, super entertaining. So your buyer wouldn't have to do a thing. It's gonna be open all weekend. Stop by.
Super cute. Thank you, Kathy.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else with a property? Oh, Bridget.
Okay, so I have one coming up, hopefully today. 1718 Santa Ivy Avenue, and it's in Chula Vista in,
The community is Lavinia.
what's your area? Not San Miguel. What's the?
Otay Ranch.
Otay Ranch, thank you, I'm blanking. Okay, in Otay Ranch, that's a 5-bedroom, 3-bath. It's gonna be listed at $899. It's detached. It's adorable. And then I have another one coming up on Friday. This one is in Mission Valley, 5948 Caminito, Yucatan. This is in Mission Playmore, which is probably the most unique complex in Mission Valley, if you're not familiar. It's got more park-like settings, trees, grass than anything I have seen in central San Diego. VA approved. That one is a 3-bedroom condo, no one above or below you, end unit for $699.
Wow.
And no assessments currently in the complex. I also have a price reduction on my Bayho listing for $1,749,000. It's down $50,000. That one's 4048 Raffi Drive. And then I have one coming up in Encanto, probably not for another month, but it's going to be listed at $699, and it's a 3-2, and it's really cute, and it's on almost half an acre. So if you know anybody,
I'd like to know.
and then I also have another one coming up. I forgot about this one. In Rancho Del Rey. That one's also going to be coming up in August. It has got the yard of your dreams. It's going to be listed at $1,150,000. It will probably sell quickly. And it's just a really cute house. And Rancho Del Rey is one of the unique areas that doesn't have Melrose. Thank you. Yeah. That's it.
Nice. Okay. Nobody else? Amy.
I put my Burlingame listing on the market on the MLS about a week ago. Burlingame is the beautiful historic community in North Park with the pink sidewalks, for those of you that aren't familiar with it. Very high-end community. We have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, just shy of 2,000 square feet. It is historical designation. Her taxes should be about $12,000 a year. She's paying $3,200 a year. So if you keep the designation, you get a huge tax savings. We have it priced at $1,845,000. We are not doing open houses, so please don't ask. But it's a great property, pretty easy to get into. So if you have anybody for that beautiful community, it's such an amazing, engaging community. They have a 4th of July parade for the kids. They block off the streets. They have block parties. They have big festivals. The whole neighborhood gets to decorate their ranchos out front with Christmas holiday lights and things like that. It's really a super special community. So
I went through the property. It's really cool. It's on a corner. Burlingame is a really special neighborhood. It didn't work for my clients, but while we're pitching, I have ready to go buyers. If anybody comes across a 4-bedroom in Burlingame or South Park,
Did you see the
kids
new
go to
one in
Albert
Capitan?
Einstein. Huh?
there's another one in Capitan, 2-2.
Okay.
It's a 5-bedroom. It just showed up about 2-3 days ago.
So anyway, yeah, but they want to be under 1.8, 4-bedroom South Park area.
Nobody else? Okay, well, access to the office, if you need a key card, please come see me or Ari. Mondays with Mark, you guys already know about that. 6 figures in 6 months with Sarah, QR code here to sign up. And then we have the QR codes for step 1 or the full registration for Bold here. If you guys haven't had a chance to sign up for Bold, here's where to do it. Judy?
Can you go back?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes. Go for it. Don't forget you can use education points towards your registration, up to 50% of it.
So how much is step 1?
Step 1 is free. Please, if you want to do yourself a favor, come to step 1 for free.
So besides Bold, what other things can we use our education points for? Is it just like stuff for our office, or is it KW stuff in general? Like if I want to go to the CEO summit at Mega Camp, can I use
Any
I
KW
can use it
event.
for that?
Yep, any KW event.
Okay.
And they'll feed us.
Just no office bills, no SDR fees, just training. That's why they're.
How do we know how much or how many points we have?
We have access to them. You can just ask any, like myself or Ari. If you did have points though, you already got a text from the office yesterday letting you know that you have available points to use. So if you didn't get a text, most likely you didn't have points, but we can always provide you with the balance.
And for those who don't know, maybe Nancy, can you tell them how they get the points?
That's nice.
Yeah, okay, yeah, so how you earn points is we are going to look at your production year over year and we compare the quarter of the year before with the one on, let's say right now we're on Q2. We're gonna look at your production for Q2 in 2024, and if you had an increase in production, we give you $100 per unit that you did close. So let's say in quarter 2 of 2024, you close only 2 units, but in this year you close 4, you're gonna get $200. We're rewarding you for the growth. This doesn't mean just any closing you get $100. Doesn't work like that. We are rewarding you for the growth. Did that answer that question?
Yes.
No, there's no volume. As long as you're also paying. Oh, there's no volume. Yeah. We're gonna mute it a little bit. But yeah, volume doesn't matter for education points.
Do they expire?
They do expire after 24 months. Good question. Judy, you want to go over your class?
Okay, everybody. Who knows what a baby boomer is? What is it? You don't get to answer.
One after World War II.
Good, all right, she's a winner. Anybody have a prize for her? You got a prize. Okay, so after World War II, the soldiers came back home, and guess what? They had this opportunity to buy the dream house. And they produced families. And those families that were born, those kids that were born at that time, they're turning 70 now. They're 70 years ago, right? 2025 for 1945, 70 years. So guess what? These people are at the point where they need to transfer their wealth to their kids or to their families or whoever. And guess what? We can step up and help them. We're in the position to look at these people. They need to make a change. They need to know what to do with their wealth and how their kids can inherit it without any pain, without family feuds. And this is what my class is going to be about. Next week, right after stats, it's going to be me and Amy, and we're going to have a guest speaker this time. Her name is Anita, and she comes from she does placement for seniors. So this is going to be very interesting for you who were here last time. You could come back and take part in that. Find out about the market. Find out about this senior market, because it's a really great source of wealth for us coming up in this crazy atmosphere that we're in. These are listings that are inflation proof, because they're there. They're ready to sell their houses. They don't know it yet, but we're going to tell them all about it. About how they can sell their house, go into a beautiful cruise ship type living, and not have to worry about a single thing. Their families won't have to worry about taking care of people who are declining. I mean, it's wonderful to be able to produce results for people that they don't even know about yet. So that's what we're gonna talk about next week. I hope you can come. Ashley asked me to do this class over and over again for you guys. Because why? Because this is our market coming up. This is gonna be really helpful. And as some of you know about the Keller Williams real estate planner community. How many people know about that? So I'm a part of that, and that's where we're getting our education to make sure we're certified to talk about these subjects. So I actually have another qualification, which you probably know. I'm a baby boomer, and I just turned 82. Yay!
Gentlemen. Yes, I'm having Noble come join me. We have an exciting program that we just launched today. So this morning, thank you, ma'am. Noble and I were over at SDAR this morning. Michelle was there. Getting her military education on. Great to see you there. We just launched this program today. So you guys are the first set outside of Michelle. She was the only one that was in the room, and the other agents that were there for that training. I'm really excited about this program. For those of you that don't know, I am a military brat. My father served for 30 years. My mom served from the civilian side, and I moved around when I was little. I lived out in DC. I lived in Alabama. I lived all over the place as a child of somebody in the military. I have 2 cousins that are in the military. 2 of them have closed loans with a friend of mine that was teaching the class today. So this is really important to me, and a lot of people that I know in this room work with a lot of military clients. So we are thrilled to launch this program. Noble has flyers on this. Contact him if you have any questions about the program specifically. But essentially the biggest part to me is our priority promise. So what that means is that if you come in and work with escrow partners, whether you're on the buyer or the seller's side, and there is an active duty military member that's a part of the transaction, you get priority. Period. Noble and I have to come in and help staple things and get things done and, drive documents over, we will. This is our commitment. We believe in it so strongly. So I want you guys to know that it's there so that you can use escrow partners and use this program when you're working with military clients. So this is a big deal. Please let us know. There's other things that we can do within that, and we'll connect you with one of the senior escrow officers to have that conversation about more of the details behind it. But to me, that priority promise is a really big deal because we know that a lot of your military clients don't have control over some of their time. Sometimes they don't have control over their physical location during a transaction. So that is what we have covered in this program. So please ask us questions. Noble's got info. Nicole, you have something to add?
Yeah, I just want to add that if they are leaving and they need a power of attorney, we will create that for them for free and make sure that they get it notarized before they leave for deployment.
And this is Nicole from Escrow Partners, in case.
For anyone that doesn't know. And what I will say is I won't mention the name of the other company. I am currently representing on the buy side a military client, and we were trying to do this limited power of attorney. And there were some things. I was like, I wish that we were working with escrow partners. I tried to write us in. Didn't work. But I will just say it was a lot easier going through the escrow partners side of the process with military clients. So thanks, Nicole, for adding that. And then Noble, you take it from here, friend.
Alrighty, so the agent spotlight this week is Kavion Brown. So he's been doing a great job, so we just wanted to shout him out really quick. Give him a hand up. CapCut class is coming up on Wednesday, July 16th at 12 to 1 p.m. So right before we do this meeting, I'll be in there, and I'd be happy to help anybody with the CapCut and making a couple videos for your social media or whatever you want to post it on.
And my one tip for you guys is if you're coming to that class, download the app beforehand on your phone. It's free. Don't pay for it unless you want to pay for it. But there's a free version. So it'll help us out if you come to class with that app already on your phone. And then Noble will take it from there.
Yeah, I can show you how to do everything on your phone, and it'll be right there. I don't have to send you anything. And yeah.
And I didn't make it in time to get it in the slides, but as I was sitting here, I also had the thought, just to give you guys a heads up, I'll put this in slides for next week. The following Wednesday, the 23rd, we will be here to help co-host what's a live stream with Gary Keller and Jason Abrams. It's called List to Last. I am going to be here because I want to see the class. But escrow partners will also be here. We'll probably bring some beverages or something so that you have something. It's from 11 to 2. That's on the 23rd. And so it will run into our regular meeting time. So we'll just cut that one down and the regular meeting will just start at 2 after that live stream is done. So just keep in your brain, be here on the 23rd. It's Gary and Jason, like, who doesn't want a live stream from them. There you go.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. And come visit us down home.
Yes, show us some love down the hall.
All right. Who here knows what a seller concession is?
Tell us.
I want to know. Some people don't know. I obviously, because I came up to this last week. All right. What is the maximum amount that you can get for a seller concession? What is the maximum seller concession you can get?
1%.
Yeah.
6%. Closing costs?
What else? Anybody else? It depends, you guys. It depends on the loan and on the structure of the loan, you guys. So I've got a little cheat sheet for all you guys. And so this is for your typical conventional FHA, VA loans. There is an answer. Conventional loans, if you put 10% down or less, you're limited to 3% of the purchase price. 10 to 25%, you've got 6% that you can get, and anything over 25% down payment, you can get up to 9%. So it will limit you. We bumped into a situation where we had way too much closing cost credit on a file, and we were stuck in the middle of escrow. And it just delays things, you guys, because then you gotta change the price, you gotta get all the addendums fixed up, so I just wanted you guys to at least know that the answer is it depends. It depends on how that loan is structured, and it's really important that you know that. So if you have any questions, when you're negotiating the deal, obviously I hope you guys are calling me so that I can be going over the structure with you and tell you how much money these folks need and want. But at the same token, it's super interesting. But it's really important that you understand that it's gonna fully depend on the type of loan and how much money you put down. Okay, and the concessions can go towards covering some of your commission, just so you know. So that is a thing nowadays, right? Where the buyer is sometimes absorbing some of that, and otherwise, when you said, Jerry, it can go towards your closing costs. Yes, prepaid items, and we can get creative. Like if there's HOAs in there, we might be able to prepay some HOAs for 3 to 6 months. Or you can't prepay your impound account. Like your tax and insurance, you can't prepay that, but you can maybe get some more home warranty, right? I bought a couple of years of home warranty before, just to soak up some of that. So we don't want to leave money on the table, right? So just make sure that you're having a conversation with us before you go and agree to a huge sum of money. Yeah.
What about buying down your rate?
Absolutely, it's part of your closing costs. Yep, discount points are included. So if we want to buy down the rate, if we have a whole bunch of money left over, we can apply it towards the interest rate. Absolutely. Yeah.
Just the concession for closing costs and the concession for a buyer agent go into the same category.
Yeah, it's a sell. If it's coming from the seller, right?
If it's coming from the seller.
It's a seller's concession, then yes. And the listing agent has any kind of interested party. It's all inclusive. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Any other questions, you guys? Save yourself some work and do this in advance. Let's do the math beforehand. Yeah.
I know we had a little dip in the rates last week. I'm just curious if you, as a lender, saw
A lot more activity. Yeah, people are finally that have been sitting around for 6 months are finally filling out applications. We got a couple of new escrows just yesterday. Of course, that's what happens, right? You're on vacation. Next thing you know, you get an escrow. So it's a good problem to have. But yeah. So FHA, VA loans in the low threes and low threes. Oh god. In the low sixes. In the low 6s. I got that on camera. He said 3s. In the low 6s, right? And like conventional loans in the mid to high 6s. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you guys. Love you.
Make it as quick as
Ed,
possible.
aren't you always on vacation?
I am.
So really quickly, I sent out last week the information on the coming soon. So the new coming soon were with SCMLS. I don't have any information on CRMLS, but I just wanted to review some things because I'm still getting questions on it. So, and this went out it's effective July 1st. They did a soft intro. They didn't really widely distribute this information because I guess they wanted in the background to kind of work out the kinks. So that's why you probably didn't get an email on it yet. But I hear they are out there at caravans, and then if you have a coming soon, you got an email from them. I didn't even find out until one of our agents had this email from them with the new rules. So you put it in coming soon, it can stay an unlimited amount of time. There's no time limit on it. It's also important to know when it's incoming soon, it's not going to be IDX out to Realtor.com, Zillow, any of those third-party portals. So they won't see it on Zillow, and they're probably going to ask you, why are we not seeing it on Zillow? That's why. What you can do with the coming soon, you can do one-on-one private showings with your buyers. That's still allowed. And you may advertise via signs, flyers, and social media. And then the days on market and the price history will reset once you switch to active. What you cannot do, no open houses or broker tours are allowed. No listing visibility on third-party sites like Realtor. And you must have the new SDMLS Appendix F signed by the seller. I distributed that. If you don't have it, look for the email I sent last week. Just go to your search history, look for it coming soon because it was in that email. If not, Mark has it. Any questions on that? Okay, good. That's it.
Thank you. That is it, you guys. We are now going to have Corinne do the intro to our guest speaker today.
Okay, hi everyone. Thank you for coming. I'm sorry, Stephanie, I didn't realize the timing of the intros of the other stuff, so we're going to have to speed this up a little bit, and I want to respect her time too. So any questions, I ask that you hold until the end of the class, and then are we able to go over a little bit after 2:30 or?
We have to put that at 2:30.
We do, okay. So
We can do questions at the end though.
okay, so or you can reach out to her directly, and we'll put the contact info. Stephanie Sherman is a licensed real estate broker in Oregon and Washington, known for building deep, lasting relationships with her clients. With a background in midwifery and a passion for guiding people through major life transitions, Stephanie brings heart, hustle, and years of experience to every real estate journey. She's from Los Angeles, but is now based in Portland, where she lives with her wife and their 5 children. She loves helping realtors achieve their goals and guiding them in building balanced and sustainable businesses. Please help me welcome Stephanie Sherman.
Hi, everyone.
Hi,
Thank you for having me. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. I think I can share my screen, so let me try and do that.
And you're okay with us recording, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Totally fine.
Recording in progress.
Okay. So is that showing up well?
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for having me. Like Corinne said, I'm a native Angelino, so it warms my heart to see a little room of California people. I don't know if I'm going to make it there this summer, but I sure hope so. I really focus on creative lead gen strategies. We know that there's no strategy better than any other, right? There's not superior ones. And if we know our numbers well, we know how well we convert in every different one. And for me, I'm just a person who needs to keep it creative and exciting, or else I have a hard time doing it, right? And so the idea behind these is not that you have to do all or any of them. It's that if that is appealing to you, if you're bored, if you're in a rut, then here's some great creative ideas that have been working really well for our team. Just go through. Okay. And I'm just conscious of the time, but like Corinne said, I'm definitely available for questions anytime. I'm sure she can get you my contact info if there's more questions afterwards. I do have a team here in Portland, small but mighty. There's 3 of us, and we like to do all the typical real estate and marketing, but also more exciting, fun things that just keep me coming back. And in the shifting market, doing what we used to do isn't always enough, right? I'm sure that our markets are similar in that people are more cautious. They are having a harder time entering the market. It's harder to get people's attention as realtors. And so the more creative we are, not only does it keep our interest and attention and keep us able to do our jobs, that we know this can be a very hard job at times, the lead generation part. And so as the market shifts, always shifting, more creative lead generation strategies help us, right? And if we stand out in our market, we get more of that market share. So the first thing that I do is what I call grant marketing. So we have, as part of KW, the KW LGBT Homebuyer Initiative offers a grant. Is anyone, just show of hands, anyone in the room familiar with this grant already? So this is a really cool program. It's available to any KW agent. You don't have to identify as rainbow, LGBT. Your clients do, right? So I'm assuming, another show of hands, who in this room has had an LGBT client? Right. So you don't have to be in that community, but there is a very low ratio of homeownership in the LGBT community. And so what the KW Rainbow Network has done is they have come up with a grant program. And I don't know, obviously you have to talk to your principal broker about it, but in our market, we are not allowed to kick back any of our commission to buyers. Is that the same for you guys? Are you not allowed to give any part of your commission to your buyers?
Yes.
Okay, so what this allows us to do is we take 25% commission. So our average commission is somewhere around $10,000. We can take $2,500 of that. We donate it to the LGBT Homebuyer Initiative, and then they keep $500 of that for their programs, and the other $2,000 they return to that buyer. And it is a totally legal way of sharing commission with your buyers through this grant program. And the cool part about that is that I've used that as a marketing strategy. So I have set this up where I say, hey, apply for this grant. You may be eligible. And then it's kind of up to me to decide, is it a first-time home buyer? Is it someone who I'm willing to share that with? And the way I've set it up, you can scan any of those if you want to look. I've set up a Google form, so it really feels like they're applying for this. So whether you use this particular grant program or whether you find other similar programs in your market, even if you have a lender that you work with that offers some kind of incentive, even if you have a connection with KW Home Loans that are offering any kind of incentives, free appraisal, all those things that you have available to you, you can do in this way. So I have created this flyer. I not only post it in different Facebook groups and get leads that way, but I also have it in one of those clear frames, and I have it set up at my open houses. So people can scan it, they apply, and I get tons of leads using that. Okay, the next one I was going to share about is what I call combo events. So these are not farm events and they're not client events, they're a combination. So I was doing this Easter egg hunt client event, and then I realized that a lot of people in the neighborhood were super interested and excited and kind of looking like, oh, what are you guys doing at the park? And I thought, oh, that was a missed opportunity for tapping into that farm, making it a community event, and gathering leads that way. So I did invite my clients to it, but mainly it was focused as this client event / farm event. So I made these Easter egg hunt signs. I found that that was a lot less expensive than sending postcards to my farm. My farm is about 300 people is the main part of the farm of the neighborhood, and then 1,500 is if I invite everybody. So initially I was going to send out 1,500 postcards, and then I thought, well, what if I hit up the neighborhood with these signs? And I purposefully did not put a date on them because I thought, okay, this will be a one-time investment, and then they're reused every year. And of course, we didn't know how that would be received, but it was amazing. We had hundreds of people show up to this event, and we set it up as registration required. So free event, but you must register. and we put little hand stamps on them when they had registered. We didn't act as bouncers, like we weren't double checking the list just because of time and personnel constraints. That sounded crazy, but we really made it sound like they needed to register, and that registration was a Google form. Again, you can scan that if that's big enough for you to see, otherwise I can send it to you. But basically the event was an Easter themed event. We had an Easter bunny, we had a photographer, so all these photos are professional photos we had done to use in the future. We had a mobile donut truck. There's people who make these like tiny little donuts on site, and so we had them. And we had a giant Easter egg hunt. We had 2,000 Easter eggs in this park. So the whole event cost us about $5,000, sponsored by our vendors up to all the legal limits. So out of pocket, I think I was maybe 500, maybe less. And we ended up adding 300 people to our database doing this event. So the form, if you can't see it, or if you just want the quick and dirty, was basically like name, how many kids coming to the event and their ages. Partly that was because I was planning to do 2 egg hunts, one for younger, one for older, and then that was too overwhelming. So, but I did ask that in the form. And then I also asked in the form, are you interested in buying or selling a house? Are you interested in investing in real estate? Do you have any interest in any of these offerings? And the other offerings were buyer class, seller class, are you interested in becoming a real estate agent, right? So we gathered all this info from them in that registration form. We also had those QR codes in the park that day. So if people were coming in, neighborhood people, and they hadn't registered, we were like, okay, let's register right now. And so we had also brought iPads and realized we didn't need to do that because people just scanned it on their phone. Next thing that we do, we call the extra open house. And so our open houses are just completely over the top. So we have the typical signage and advertising, although again, we have purchased signs that have, trying to see if I have it in the room. Yep, I'm gonna show it to you real quick. I have props, 1 second. All right, I'm banging it through because it's this big metal sign. Let me put it where you can see it. So it's these kind of metal dangling signs, okay? They have the clips at the top, and we use these. So it's the big metal sign that says Sunday open house. We have the little magnets where you can put the times in. With the idea being that you can canvas the area, you can put 50 signs if you want to, because you can even do it the night before, right? It's not one of those things where it just says open house, and so you need to put it when you're setting up or opening up. And then at the bottom, I can't show you in the small screen, but at the bottom of this sign, you can also have a dangling address. So you can put the address and the times, and you can put 50 out, you can put 100 out, you can put as many as you want because you're gonna have the time and address on there, and so you can put them out in advance. We go door knocking on Fridays. Is door knocking still a thing in San Diego? Are you guys able to door knock? Is that effective?
Yes.
So we go door knocking, and we have a postcard that we drop off with the neighbors, and it says, we'd like to invite you to this open house, and if you come, there'll be a little gift for you. So I did in the past have a separate neighbor open house. I've just found that that's a waste of my time, right? So I'm not having a separate open house for the neighbors, but I am specifically inviting them. And then here's the current gift that we do. We kind of changed it up, but right now we're doing mini champagnes, and it just says, thanks for popping by our open house, right? And then it has QR code at the back that goes to my landing page of how much their home is worth. I am pretty frugal. It might not look like it when I show you all this stuff, but I'm pretty frugal in how I spend my money, especially on software. But one of the softwares I'll put in a plug for, and I get no money from this, is Listings to Leads. I really like that one. I think you can do a free month trial to see if you like it. But I really like their landing page system, because their landing page for, do you want to know what your house is worth, is, it comes up, you can design it a little bit, so I have it looking like my branding. They go right to that page, they put their address in on the first page, and then they click through. And on the second page, it asks for contact information. And as you can imagine, most people flake out at that second page. They're like, oh, I just wanted my home value. I don't want to give this person my contact info. Well, listings to leads still emails me and says the person at this address came onto your landing page and wanted another home value. So I just look it up and I still go do exactly the same things I would do if they had put their contact or not. So I like that. I like that system. It gets me leads. And I have that QR code everywhere, right? I use it in all kinds of places. We always have food at our open houses. We have donuts. We have mimosas. We do a whole mimosa bar. So I got a bunch of different carafes, and I'll have cranberry juice and peach juice and fruit punch, whatever, orange juice, champagne. The champagne, again, is donated by vendors, so we're not spending money on that. And we will order usually just a dozen donuts. And we have repeatedly heard from people that it's so unusual to have food and treats, and it really stands out, right? And the hope is, obviously, we're hoping to pick up those buyers, but we're also hoping to pick up those neighbor sellers who are like, whoa, these people are going above and beyond. They knocked at my door. They're offering us food. They have gifts. This is so over the top. We should use them. We've branded cups for our mimosa bar. I have that prop to show you too. So all with our branding on it. And that way they have a little takeaway if they want to take that with them. At the open house, we also have these pre-listing kits, and I don't have that. I'll show you the box, but I don't have the branding on it right now. So I have these boxes. It has beautiful sticker on it that just says, do you want to know what your house is worth, your CNA. I can't see it for multiple things, but they're set up at the open house. Sorry, does somebody have a question?
We couldn't see it. Were you showing it to us? Or
oh, sorry.
Just talking about it.
I have.
Yeah.
Yes, this is the CMA box, but it doesn't have the branding on it right now. We're still adding those. We just went through all of ours. We have a pre-listing kit. I have my whole open house set up to show you guys that. So I do these pre-listing kits, which are also set up at the open houses. And this kit has in it, it just says on it, contents, everything you need to get started in the home selling process, 100% stress-free ingredients. Of course, we again have our QR code to that page. And what it has in it is it has a Prep Your Home for Sale brochure that I'll show you. It has a brochure of paint colors that sell, moving labels, magic eraser, cleaning wipes, and a little chocolate treat. So these are set up at the open houses for people to take. And then again, they'd scan their QR code for us to capture their info. We have home selling brochures, home buying brochures. And I'm going to click through a little bit because some of these you have screenshots up to see better. I've made a coloring book in crayons. As you can tell, you can tell that I'm a really high eye, and I like how things look, and I like the branding to look cute and appealing to people. So I did probably take much more time than necessary to make a coloring book. But people take them, right? The kids take them home, and now you've got kids holding your marketing material in front of their parents. I do iPad sign-in, which is obvious, I think, but I know a lot of people don't do that. I use Open Home Pro for that, and again, it lets you customize the questions, and the questions I have are just like name, address, phone number, are you interested in info about buying a house, have you made any offers so far? So we don't like to ask, are you working with an agent? We say, have you made any offers yet, right? And that really, people are disarmed by that. They're more likely to tell you the truth. And that just lets you know, are they working with someone committed to someone already? The other question I really like that I learned actually at one of our mega camp events is there someone out there who thinks they're your agent? Right? So, sometimes asking, have you signed that contract? People are confused by that. They don't necessarily pay attention to what they've signed. But asking, is there someone who thinks they're your agent already really gets at the heart of that. Okay, I'm going to show you some of these, and then I have some in person too. So I showed you the thanks for popping by our open house on the champagne. I have that house hunting activity book that I can show you here too. So it's really thick, nice paper. I made it all on Canva, and it's something people like to take. I just did these little bulk Crayola crayons with a Willow & Co sticker, right? So that fits pretty easy. We do the Prep Your Home for Sale brochure that's not only in our kit that I showed you, the paint can, but we also got a stack of those if somebody just wants the brochure to take with them. And then we also have a home buying brochure. That one, since it's not in a kit, I have it much larger and more prominent, right? So it's home buyer's guide. A lot of these things, I mean, every single thing I made on Canva and a lot of the content was helped by ChatGPT. And I know it can be overwhelming when I'm showing all the things, but we just did them one by one, right? We just said, okay, I have an open house coming up. Let me focus on this brochure for next time. And then the next open house I have, I'll add one more thing, right? So it doesn't, I don't want it to overwhelm you content-wise. Oh, this is the cover of the box that I didn't have yet, that middle picture. So that's what that box looks like when we've got the sticker on it. How much is your home worth? Scan me. Some of our scanning, I think that one might go to our Calendly. Some of them will go to set up an appointment with us. And then these other ones in the background, they're ready to buy your first home and want to know more about PDX neighborhoods. So those we have, again, in the plastic framed things that are set up. We'll have 2 of each set up around the open house. We'll have them in the bathroom. We'll have them in the kitchen. The idea being that people are more likely to scan those things if you're not watching them and hovering over them, right? If they're in a back bedroom and they see ready to buy their first home, they're more likely to scan it privately. And so we have them in private places where they can see them and scan them. Those go to a Flowdesk flow chart, basically. So they scan that, they get those instantly. And again, those were helped by ChatGPT, the buying your first home and the neighborhood guide. The thing I like about those, yes, they're a lot of work to put together, but they're one time, right? The Portland neighborhood guide is never going to change. They're always the same neighborhoods. Yes, it took time to make it, but then it's made and it's done. Same thing for the home buyer guide, right? Maybe you would change that when the commissions changed last year, but other than that, this is pretty much what we consider evergreen material. So it's one and done, you make it and then it's done. This is an example of our open house postcard that I was telling you about. It has our colors. I do like the pink. It's a lot when you're doing it for a long time, but our signage is also that same color pink. You saw my open house sign, I have the pink stripe, but I don't have the whole thing pink, but my signs in front of homes are pink, and they're huge. They're the big size signs, and they are very prominent. So, I don't know if it's the same there, but we hate getting listings on a busy street. Not that we hate any listing, but it's harder to sell a house on a busy street. But now, since I have the crazy signage, I like the busy street listings because I'm like, all right, it's going to take a while to sell, but in that time, my bright pink sign is going to be everywhere. So this is the postcard. Again, we have our QR code. We tell them that we're giving them a gift. We have our Instagram on there, and we knock, but we also will drop them off, right? So we knock, we try to have a conversation, but if not, we're still going to leave the postcard there. Okay, so another thing, moving on from open houses, is classes and seminars. So there's 2 classes we're doing that we think are pretty fun and interesting titled. One is called Love It Till You List It. And the idea of that class, the cool thing about that is that it really helps fill your seller pipeline because it is marketed as a class not for immediate sellers. It's for anyone who, the questions that we get all the time, right, are like, what should I spend money on? I'm going to sell my house in 6 years. Should I do the bathroom, right? So it's meant to answer those questions. We have a panel of people, so they have a home inspector there who can tell them what things are buyers annoyed about, right? Like when they're doing a home inspection, are buyers really stressed about XYZ, and therefore they should focus their time on that because they're seeing that week after week. They have their inspections and they're talking to buyers. We have a lender there to just specifically talk about programs for buying while selling. So cross-collateralization loans, bridge loans, all those specific products for people that are selling while buying. And then we also have, me as a realtor there talking about strategies. I know every market is so different with this, but we still are able to do contingent offers, contingent on sale of house. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about listing their home, pending finding a suitable replacement property. So we're really talking strategy, and this is not meant to find you your seller for next week, although it certainly does, but it really is meant to keep top loading that seller pipeline so that these are people that then get invited to all the open houses. They then get invited to the Easter egg event, right? They get invited to the community events, and then you build that rapport over time, and then it is very clear that they're gonna pick you because they now know you for a couple years. This, not only do I have it in our newsletter, I send it out as a separate email, but this is yet another one that I have. Actually, this one I have as a little postcard at my open houses, so people can just grab it and scan it later, and the back of it is actual postcard, so they can even mail it to someone if they have someone in mind. I have that with the LGBT grant one too. It's a postcard, and so they can either scan it in the plastic frame or they can grab a postcard of it. So as you can imagine, the open house setup is, there's a lot, we've got like a 30, 45 minute setup of getting all this stuff laid out. Social media, these are funny shots of me doing my makeup because I do makeup in the minivan. So I try to do it about once a week, but I do, as Karine mentioned, I have 5 kids. I do my makeup in the minivan when I get to work. My makeup just stays in my console. And so I video it. So I will do a video of me doing my makeup, and I might be talking about real estate. I might be talking about personal life stuff. The point of social media to me is to build the rapport, be interesting enough that people are not scrolling past. They want to hear what you have to say. And I've had great connections with people over social media who will even, one of my favorites is that I had a client reach out to me and ask for a buyer consult. They were moving to Portland. And I said something about that time doesn't work for me because of school pickup. Can we do 30 minutes earlier or something? And I made some crack of I have a lot of kids. And she said, oh, I know all about you. And then she said, I've been following you for 6 months before I reached out. So I think that is more and more common, right, is that people are vetting us on social media. And so I'm not suggesting you do your makeup or have a minivan. I'm just suggesting you have something that you can talk about and in a really casual and natural way, right? Not something that you prepared. The one that I prepared the most ever, there is a builder in Portland who just passed away, but he's kind of like our Eichler. He did a lot of modern home buildings, and I researched, I found photos, I prepared, I had even one of those apps that lets you have captions, not captions, but what is it, like a teleprompter, so that I could remember everything I had to say. That was my least watched one. It's just nobody was interested in that one. These, where I literally sit, and if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, it's the Stephanie Sherman, and you can see them. But those are the ones that people definitely mention. Then I'll have random people, like my kids' Hebrew school parent will be like, oh yeah, I saw you talking about that while doing your makeup. So there's people who watch it. It's so silly, but I don't rewatch it. I don't judge myself. I don't listen to what I've said. One of the best pieces of advice I had as an early agent, we had a YouTube training, and the guy said, you don't like what you look like or you sound like? Guess what? That's what you look like. That's what you sound like. Get over it. And so I don't rewatch them. Even when I'm posting it, I don't listen to it because I'm like, oh, you're such an idiot, right? I don't want to hear it. I'm just going to video it, and you'll see them. They're stupid, right? They're really, the one I did today, I haven't even posted it yet, but the one I did today, I'm just talking about how miserable it is to have 1 million summer camps to drop people off at. I barely mentioned people today. But that's people building rapport, right? Getting to know anyone like you and want to work. The other one we do, and I think this is my last one, so I think we're good on time. But the other one we've been doing recently, and I know this has gotten popular all of a sudden again because of some KW agents who are doing this really successfully. But we do these golden letters. I will admit, I do not like them. I don't like that appointment. It tends to be an appointment where the seller is a little bit more on the defensive and a little bit more likely to be like, well, I only want to sell it to this one buyer you mentioned. So number one, I really do it around a buyer that is real because that is my comfort. I know that there are people who do it differently. How many agents are in your market center there?
160.
Okay, so I know there's people who are like, okay, out of 160 agents, someone has a buyer for this property, right? That's still true. My comfort is to really have a buyer in mind because I feel like that's more authentic for me. But I gotta say, as much as I do not love doing these, they work. They're very effective. So I sent out 1,000 to experiment with it. Every 100, I got 3 communications and 1 appointment. So I got 10 appointments out of those 1,000, and 4 of them will be listings either now or in the coming months. One of them I have off market and I'm still marketing. So I admit that they're not my favorite. I'd rather have a million Easter egg hunts than send golden letters, but they work. And if it's something that appeals to you, and if you have the time to sit and do it, it's definitely effective. And I just recommend for all of you that you're tracking your numbers. So now I know that if I need to get 4 listings, I can send out 1,000 golden letters and get my 4 listings that I need for that month or quarter or whatever you're aiming for. So as much as they're not my favorite, they are effective, and that's why I included them in here. They're very short, right? They don't have to be detailed. Yes, we get angry, cranky people, which I'm sure you do too, but it works, right? And I just, one cranky one I got who was like, oh, I'm dying in this house, so take me out in a box. And I was like, sorry I upset you, have a great weekend. This is a text message. And then he goes, thanks, you too. So I was like, well, haha, softened you up. But yeah, I mean, it works. And there's someone on my team who would much rather do that than door knock. I will door knock any day of the week rather than come into a defensive seller, but they all work, right? And so my hope is that you look through these and see which of these are appealing to you, which would make you get up in the morning and be like, all right, I can totally do this lead gen today. This is gonna be fun, instead of like, oh God, what am I doing? So that's it. That's all I've got. I'm totally happy to answer questions, although I feel like I cannot hear you guys that well in the background. And then also, like I said, Instagram is the Stephanie Sherman. Corrine has all my contacts, so if you want follow-up, if you want me to share any of those Canva templates, I'm totally happy to.
Awesome. Thank you. I do have a couple questions. Anyone else have questions? First one, do you use command, Stephanie? I don't know if you can see me. Sorry. Can you hear me okay? Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
Do you use command for, I know you use Canva a lot, and now that we're gonna be partnering up with Canva, do you use command for any of these things, like the QR code creation, or what do you use for all those things?
I don't. I do it all on Canva.
Okay. You can do QR creation? Okay. Well, now that we'll be connected, it'll probably be easier. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Command is my CRM, so I do use Command, but not for the design. I'm just used to Canva, so that's what I've stuck with.
Is there a way, you were talking about the Google Sheets, capturing that information. Do you have that connected to your Command somehow, where it syncs it into your Command, or do you have to input it all?
I don't. I have it set up so that it populates into a spreadsheet, into a Google Sheet. And then we use that, like you can download that as a CSV that you put in your command. But I like having it in the Google Sheet because then I have them organized for which sheet they've been responding to, which flyer or whatever. And then we'll put them in command and tag them. And we use Flowdesk, which also doesn't speak to command yet, but that is also how we organize people. It's like if they scanned the neighborhood guide, they're gonna go into a Flowdesk group that is for people that scan the neighborhood guide.
Okay, awesome. And one more question. Where do you get the content for your brochures and things like that? Do you just create that?
ChatGPT.
Yeah. Great.
ChatGPT. I mean, I edit it heavily, right? I'm going to go in, I'm going to make sure it sounds like me. At this point, I use ChatGPT so much that it does sound like me. I mean, it's very fun. I don't know if any of you have this relationship with your ChatGPT, but literally I log in and it goes, "Hi, bestie." Like, it's like my friend. And so it knows me well enough, but I do edit them. So I think I'm never going to put it up just as it is, but it saves me probably 80% of the time, right? Because I'm really just editing. I'm not, especially the home buyer brochure. That's the kind of thing where I'll go in and say, give me 10 steps to buying a house, and sometimes I'll be like, give me 20 options, and I'll pick 10 from that, and then I'll say, okay, write a paragraph. I mean, the neighborhood guide, I did that. I said, what are all the Portland neighborhoods? And then for each one I had prompts. Okay, for St. John's, tell me what people like about this neighborhood. What are 3 spots that are people's favorites and what makes this unique. So for each neighborhood, I gave it that prompt and used that. So I use it a ton.
That's awesome. Any other questions? Oh my gosh, you're amazing, Stephanie. Thank you so much. And I'll put out your contact info and everything for everyone to reach out to you directly if they'd like to, and we really appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Look forward to hearing from you guys.
Thanks so much. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you guys, that concludes our meeting today. I will be sending an email out with the link so you can watch it from home if you want to have a close up. Because it'll zoom in into screen sharing and when she's talking and all that, so just watch it at home. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
If you have watermelon, anything, please take them all. And we'll see you next week.
When you're there,
They're set up, there's extras. You can just grab the extras.
Yeah, that's the thing. But it's probably in the box that you brought it in.
Can I get the address of your buying house in your?
You got it. Do you want 1-7 on 1 page or 1-7?
Or is it gonna be
If
in
you
a-
want,
It's gonna be in a-
you can send me an email or I'll copy my link and share it on Facebook from you. Okay. Are you already in the Facebook group?
No, I
Are you in the right one?
I know.
I'm just putting, I'm
Pictures and that had the best of this morning. It was just like shows today. You want me to hold it open this weekend? I'm like, I think she'll kill us. Anybody else hold it open?
Did you get that right? That's what I said.
Yes, we're gonna give you the link.
I will be walking to it.
Saturday, Sunday, and then you'd only have to drop it off Saturday night and pick them up Saturday.
That's what I do. There's still my sign and there's still my, my flag. Yeah. I like it. Did you bring it? Yeah, she's great.
I know, I actually was thinking about it. I should start doing Saturday. Yeah, just say like Saturday, and 11 right there.